So, today I will be starting off by... I'll start off by doing this one.
Here's hoping knows
You just
what
wait
is
and
pathlessness wherever you look. Where is this supposed to lead?
The fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about you.
But that's ridiculous. We have to at least try to negotiate.
You know his demands. There's no basis for negotiation.
He has not seen what we have seen. The
You're
writings,
the one they call the prophet.
memories of the prophet. If he just realized.
My dams,
I guess.
my sirs.
Shit. What took you so long? And where is Constantine?
That's a long story.
Yeah.
And those were his final words? I can't believe it.
Simply another victim of the High Ones. If we do not activate the beacon soon, he won't be the last.
Oh, right. The beacon. If it's activated, we'll simply glow the red madness away, won't we? Or maybe we could, for once in all this, do something that actually makes sense and focus our resources on finding an alchemistical or thaumaturgical solution to this problem, rather than trusting in a pile of scrap metal.
Oh, by the prophet's ass! Won't you just shut up for a minute? All day long you do nothing but babble, getting on our nerves, and nothing you ever say gets any closer to a fucking solution. So why don't you just shove off to one of the bathhouses? Go torture the washerwomen with your never-ending lamentations. That would be helpful for a change.
You will take that back.
Will I? Come here and make me. I'd be delighted.
Blasphemy!
Guard your
This
tongue,
is blasphemy!
wild mage, or...
Or what? Are you gonna kill me? That's what you do best, you and your fucking order.
Silence! You are angry, Lishari Pegast, and I understand why. But in the moment you let that anger destroy this alliance, Firespark's sacrifice will have been in vain. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
No. No, it isn't.
Good. I am tired of this endless bickering. We have a responsibility, and we will fulfill it.
Well said, Oranthio. And how exactly do you think we are going to do that? Without the sources, the beacon is as worthless as a heap of rusty iron.
The chroniclers are on it, and they will find the answer. Novice, tell Commander Aaron to join us. We need to plan the defense of the land. You, Prophet, will come to me as soon as you have recovered. Now, let us get to work.
Please, Tilo. Jorik is right.
As soon as I jumped off there onto the
Ren,
table,
this is
they
madness.
froze me. I
I
couldn't
know
move.
that it is going to be tough, but we have no choice. The beacon is all that we have.
Yes, the beacon, the beacon, the beacon. We don't even know what this thing does, let alone if it will work. If you start or only because of that damn machine, it means putting the lives of thousands at risk, only because of some vague idea. This is ludicrous, Tila. It's entirely irrational. The man I knew would never have acted like this.
Yes, because that man is dead. I've made decisions driven by fear and selfishness before, and they were always wrong.
I
will
don't
not
know if
let
I've read
that
these.
happen again.
I have now.
Seriously, Natara, stop acting as if this were out reason. You're just afraid of making sacrifices for what you believe in.
The sun be praised you've made it. Constantine.
Sacrifices.
He didn't
This is
deserve
about your
this.
damn pride,
It's
Tilo,
just not
nothing
fair.
else.
Could have let me get a bit closer so I could actually see you. He acted as if he was possessed. Maybe his mind was not strong enough for all of this.
Then none of us are strong enough. Yeah, Constantine wasn't exactly the most approachable fellow, but he was a damn skilled mage. I have to talk to you as soon as possible. It's about the seal in that letter we found on the mercenaries in Old Rashengrad. I believe I'm onto something.
Really? Well,
Their client is from Enderal. From Ark, to be more precise. Let's not talk here, though. Meet me in the Dancing Nomad. I'll be in the first room upstairs, right at the end of the staircase. And hurry.
Very well. I'll meet you after I've spoken with Aranthiel.
Yes, see you there.
You could have let me come around the corner and come closer to you. There was a door upstairs that was saying go out there from up there. I don't think I've looked through that door yet. Okay, it's just the balcony. It is night time, so I won't be able to do the books just yet. I should make a note which ones I still need here for the lowest. I might quickly do that. I should have done this off stream, but it won't take too long. Halfway for the top box. There's the combat section done. Now the workmanship. There we go. So now I've got recorded those numbers. When it comes to buying books, I don't need to keep opening this menu. Because it's night time, I may as well just do this one. Turns out it was only showing there because I jumped off that balcony. What was that about? Your argument with Natara in the Emporium?
Irrelevant. This madman, Koarek. He has completely reshuffled the cards. Now we not only have to deal with the High Ones, but also with him and his fanatics. However, there's also good news. You have probably seen it already.
You managed to reconstruct the beacon.
Physically, yes. And we also know how it works now, and how it can put an end to the cycle.
How?
It is easier than we thought. The beacon was constructed for one thing, to destroy the High Ones. Once reconstructed, infused with energy and activated, lit, as the Pyreans called it, it can banish the High Ones from this plane of existence.
Destroy them? How is that? How is it supposed to work? The High Ones are...
Immaterial, indeed. Essentially, they can be compared to the cold or to shadows. Omnipresent elements, yet we cannot touch them. Energy, if you will. However, there is a counterpart to each energy. Cold and fire, shadow and light. The High Ones and the beacon.
So you mean that the beacon is some kind of counterpart to what the High Ones are?
Yes. Imagine a torch driving away the darkness in the moment it is ignited. This is what the beacon can do, except that the banishing will be permanent.
That sounds good. So what's keeping us from lighting it? Skyrim mentioned sources?
Yes, as I said, it needs to be infused with energy before it can be lit. I take it you have noticed the 3 sockets on its base. They are what it draws its power from. Once they are filled, the beacon can be ignited and the High Ones will be undone, once and for all. At least, if the old writings are true. The only thing left for us to find out is what these energy sources are. But we are close. Give the Arcanists some more time and I will let you know if there's any news. In the meantime, get equipped accordingly. Some of the Neremes have landed already, and outbreaks of the Red Madness become more and more frequent as we speak.
Is there nothing we can do against the Red Madness? Distribute some of the sigil stone's shards among the people, maybe?
No, there are not enough, and we must keep the few there are in our possession, in case anything unexpected should happen. The only thing we can do to stop the madness is to destroy the High Ones as soon as possible.
Few things I can talk about. I'm guessing I can talk about them all. The Trakessa mentions something about what happened in Kira. What did she mean by that?
Well, it's only fair to tell you. You've always been honest to me, so I will do the same. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Thousand Fires?
No. Vaguely?
Between 8,192 and 8,202, there was an underground movement in Kira called the Red Half Moon. They were brought into being by a group of intellectuals and philosophers who, under all the freedom of thought Saldrine granted them, started questioning the reign of the Golden Queen, and thus the Lightborn themselves.
Freedom of thought that Saldrine granted them? What do you mean by that?
Saldrine saw himself as the god of knowledge, and accordingly he reigned his country. In Kira, no opinion is forbidden, which is why it is home to countless magic schools and universities, where people do nothing but discuss the reason for being all day long. An appealing thought if you hear it for the first time, but a cunning people isn't easy to reign. There have been more revolts and riots in Kira than bones in a graveyard, and the Red Half Moon was the worst of them.
So this Red Half Moon tried to end the reign of the gods? Just like your son did, correct?
Correct, just as my son did. But other than him, they fought like cowards. Terror, dust crystals planted in the marketplaces, and assassinations, you name it. If they killed innocents, they blamed the Golden Queen, and if they killed her soldiers, they celebrated themselves as liberators. However, they never succeeded in putting her down, and neither did she in destroying them, which is why the court turned to the Lightborn for help. A division of the Holy Order led by me, a young keeper of barely 30 winters.
Why did you have to come all the way from Enderal? Didn't the Order have a bastion on Kira?
None to be taken seriously. You know, not everywhere is the Order as present as here on Enderal, or as it once was on Narim. In Kira, we were ridiculed. I saw the Kiranian keepers who served the Golden Queen. A bunch of decadent gluttons who had dedicated themselves to the court's banquets rather than to the will of the gods. They were pathetic.
I see. So, what happened?
A moon after our arrival, we received an anonymous tip on where one of the half-moon's bases was supposed to be located, in a small coastal village. As we entered it, we were greeted by the township's elders, and the villagers themselves had gathered behind them. You should have seen how they stared at us, as if we were plunderers. I should have seen by then that something was wrong.
How come the villagers feared you? Didn't they know that you had been sent by their queen?
Yes, but if there was one thing the Red Half Moon was good at, it was sowing lies. According to them, we were nothing but butchers who executed everyone unable to recite the Revelation word for word.
Let me guess. The entire thing was a trap.
That's what they wanted us to think, and they did a good job at that. A veiled person here, an archer on the rooftops there. I got nervous, because villagers are not, they bested us in numbers, and they had kettled us. Then a man seemed to charge at us, and I gave the order to draw weapons. It was just the spark they needed.
It came to a fight.
No, not a fight. A massacre. The villagers had pitchforks and shepherd staffs, and we had shadow steel swords, let alone the fact that we were trained warriors.
Yeah.
I realized that I had made a mistake a split second after it started, but it was too late by then. My men, they slaughtered them all, like pigs. At the end of the day, 300 people were dead, and only 10 of them were keepers.
Damn. What And you couldn't do anything at all to stop the fight?
Have you ever been in a big battle? Even if my men would have stopped, the villagers were blinded with rage and panic. No. From the moment I gave the order, it was too late.
So the Red Half Moon set all this up. I get it. But why? Why would they want an entire village slayed?
Well, what better proof of the Lightborn's cruelty is there than a division of keepers who, out of pure wickedness, slaughtered an entire village, women, children included. If the people had already distrusted us before that distrust had turned into hatred, then nothing could have changed that, not even the Golden Queen's heralds. We set sail back to Enderal a week later. 2 years after that, the Red Half Moon destroyed itself due to infighting. Ironic, isn't it?
He did panic and got out of control. But when you're in that sort of position, you've got to keep control. You should have kept your calm.
I should have, yes. The Lightborn and the Grandmaster back at that time showed the compassion I wouldn't grant myself. But I learned one thing, and that is that I will never again let fears about my own life influence my decisions. What happened in Kira was the consequence of my own cowardice, and my unwillingness to give my life for a just cause. That will never happen again.
I'm pretty sure I've already talked to you about that one. There is something I need to tell you. Back on the Half Moon Island, the High Ones told me something there.
What?
Taranor Karek sees himself as one of the emissaries too. The Messiahs.
Really? That's interesting. Provided this is true, that means that the emissaries aren't just people who fight the cleansing. They are people who fight for it too. And that also means that whoever granted us our powers and our purpose isn't an enemy of the High Ones, but a neutral party.
Better, to be honest. Not necessarily. The High Ones also said that Karek is wrong, and that he isn't really an emissary. And neither are you.
I beg your pardon.
Well, according to the High Ones, Karek only thinks himself as an emissary because he wants to feel important.
What? And the same goes for me? That's ridiculous. They wanted to deceive you, to sow discord. I saw the threat the cleansing posed before anyone else did. And without me, we would have never come that far. Something changed inside me since I fled from my prison. I feel it. And it is the same thing that made you a part of all this. Now, enough of this. Yes?
About the cycle.
Yes.
Have I to settle these? Could you tell me more about the emissaries? What defines us?
That depends on whom you ask. In some writings of the Pyreans, we are referred to as chosen ones. But this is wrong. A better word would be chess figures with their own will. Whatever force causes the cycle also gave us powers and a task. But fulfilling that task is our own responsibility.
I've already talked to you about all those.
Prophet. Yes.
Yep. All that's done.
Yes?
They said that one. I have some questions about that entity inside you. The it, as you call it.
If it's really necessary, what do you want to know? Yeah, as if.
Yeah, I've already talked to you all about all of
So, yeah.
those. What do you think about the current events?
Until that Quark appeared, I actually thought things were going relatively well, like with the sigil stone and this beacon. But a war with Narim, that changes everything. They trump us in every aspect. Manpower, equipment, siege machinery. Let's just hope the walls of Ark are really as durable as they're said to be.
Yeah, I've already talked to you about all of those.
Yes, sir. The streets aren't safe at this hour. Yeah.
I'll grab anything that can be broken, well, smelted.
They just sit on their asses and have to